Hey, it's Joe. This is the last video in this particular series. If you notice, I've been wearing this shirt probably for about 4 months. It's not really been wearing it for 4 months. I shoot all these in one big chunk. That way I do them, 2 or 3 times a year to keep the process going. This last question is I'm going to keep it anonymous from who it's from, because he was being very honest and very frank about his situation. He says that Joe, I'm very interested in your mentor program, and I'd like to move forward with it, but I'm frankly terrified that I won't succeed. And is there anything you can say to me about your success rate and about what will make it possible for me to succeed working with you? Yes, and I think everybody comes into this program with some fear. It's expensive. It's like going to college for a semester. It's not quite as expensive as going to college for a semester, but almost. And when you spend that much money on a program, and it's a 6-month program, and when you spend that much money on a program, you want to feel like, yes, I have a chance to make that work, that I have a chance to get that money back. When you go to college, you have the desire to, yes, I'm going to take out these huge college loans. I'd like to be able to get that money back at some point by getting a better job. Well, what I'm trying to do is not help you get a job. I'm trying to help you build a business. And I'm going to try to do it in a way that is much, much quicker than if you went to college and got a degree. And instead of getting an A in this course, you make money. Instead of getting an F in this course, you don't make money. I can tell you that out of all the people that come into my program, about 30% of them will make money. They tell me that 5% is normal for these kinds of programs, so I guess I'm 600% better than average. But I can also tell you that 100% of the people who do the work make money. If you follow through with this process the way that I teach, you will make money and you will make it happen. Don't get into this program unless you're serious about it. I tell people, give yourself 3 or 4 months before you can expect to make any money at all in the program. I got people who make money in a week or 2, but they're the exception, not the rule. So give yourself time so you don't give up before you actually learn how to do it. I see that happen too often, and that's why 30% succeed. Because that other 70% don't follow through. They don't do what they promise me they're going to do. Because when I talk to them before they sign up, I say, what I require from you is that you commit to me that you're going to put in 8 to 10 hours a week on the phone, talking to sellers, making offers. You're not going to have to do that for the rest of your life, but you're going to have to do that at the beginning, because you're going to have to learn how to get good on the phone. You have to learn to be the rainmaker for your business, and that's how you do it. You learn how to talk to people and be good at that. You can use all the marketing and techniques. That's going to bring in the people to talk to. But then once you get on the phone with them, if you can't close a deal, you're not going to be any good. And it's going to probably take 100 phone calls where you don't get off the phone until they've said no to you at least 5 times before you're going to be good at this. And it's not a lot of fun, I'll be honest with you. It's not a lot of fun to go through that. When I did it, it was frightening. It scared me. I'm a shy person normally, and I don't like to get on the phone, and I certainly don't want to look like an idiot, which is what's going to happen. When you first get on the phone talking to sellers, you're going to sound like an idiot, and they're going to treat you like an idiot. And until you get competent, until you start speaking with some level of reliability and confidence and competence, they're not going to trust you. And they're going to usually think that, no, it's not that he's incompetent, it's that he's a crook. So they're going to treat you like you're doing something nefarious. And that just takes time to learn that process. So, but if you'll do that work, it'll work for you. Another thing, when I work with people, I get on the conference call. We do them every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. And the calls usually last a couple of hours. At least an hour, hour and a half. Sometimes I've gone to 3 hours. All I do on those calls is answer questions. I'm going to give you a ton of materials that you're going to listen to, and it's going to tell you what to do and to get started. And then I'm going to give you very specific tasks to do in a sort of a step-by-step order so that you can start doing those tasks. And then as you do them, you're going to come on these conference calls with me every 2 weeks, and we're going to talk about what you're doing, how you're doing, what questions you might have. have. And that's the time on those calls, in this program where we actually talk. Between those calls, I don't take calls on the phone. It's just a time issue. I can't do that. But I do answer emails, and I'm pretty good about getting back with people within 24 business hours. I don't work on weekends or holidays, but send me an email, and a day later, I'll send you back a response and say, do this, or try this, or think about this instead, or that's not the right question. You should be asking this question instead. And I'll help you, direct you. Or if you want to send over your documents, say, hey, I got this new deal, and I would like you to look at my documents. I'll look at the documents, make sure you're on track with them. I'm not an attorney. I can't give legal advice, but I can look and tell you, this is what we've done in the past. Does this make sense? Go in this direction. Those are the things I can help you with that I think are going to be more valuable to you than just about anything else that I can give you. Once you learn how to put deals together, your life will change. Everything changes because suddenly you'll have a way to make income without relying on anybody else. No banks, no appraisers, no lenders, no bosses. The only thing that you'll have to do is pull together the buyer and the seller and get them to agree to do it the way that you know works because you learned it from me, and then put the deal together and close it. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to close that deal. 1 time out of 10, a deal's going to fall apart for something that you couldn't have done anything about. When you're a beginner, you're going to have more deals fall apart on you because you did something wrong. But they're going to be good learning experiences. At some point, you're going to want to stop having learning experiences and actually start making money and start doing it consistently. And that's what you can do in this process. There's every reason to be afraid of this process, as far as emotionally, as far as the potential for losing the money that you have in the program. So you have to know in your heart that you're going to do that work. If you do the work, I guarantee, money back guarantee that you will make money. If you don't do the work, there's no guarantee you're going to make any money, and you won't get a refund. But you have to follow through, and there are certain things that I do to keep you on track. And I have a process that I go through to help you understand what needs to be done, and I expect you to do those things just like you would do if you went to college and you were working with a teacher, and they expect you to turn in the assignments, and they expect you to do the work, and they expect you to be accountable to them. I do the same thing, and I expect that work from you. If you decide not to do it, if you decide not to show up, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to come knocking on your door and saying, hey, where are you? But if you're there and you're willing to do the work, I'll be there and I'll help you through that process. I'll walk you through the landmines so you don't step on them like I did, and you'll be able to avoid all the problems and financial disasters and legal issues, and have a sort of a safety net beneath you that kind of helps you through this process and makes it possible for you to do it. The other nice thing that you'll get as you come through this program is a community. You'll have a mastermind of other investors. You'll be in my group. You'll be in the group of the other people that come to the buying events, which is where you'll meet them in person. You'll come to the buying event. You'll meet them. You'll get to spend the weekend with them talking about real estate. I mean, where can you go right now where you can talk about real estate all the time? I mean, if you go to your friends, most of them don't care about real estate. Most of your family doesn't care about real estate. 3% of the population are entrepreneurial. Everybody else wants a job. They think that's the best way to make a living. But I think that a few of us here realize that, hey, if we could have this freedom, that's more important than money. That's more important than anything else in our lives. Having the freedom and the ability to control my life, control my time, be able to work when I want to work, and be able to make a great living doing it, and probably, if I do it right, become wealthy doing it. If I could do that, that's much better than going to work for the man and putting in my 40 hours a week. I'd much rather work 4 hours a week than 40, and then be able to have my life to do other things that are important to me as well. For me, I like to make movies, so that's how I spend a lot of my time. But I also enjoy this process, and I just don't have to put that much time into it to make it work on a regular basis. Just like these videos, I'm recording a whole bunch of them at once, and they'll be trickled out over a 3-4 month period, and this is all I have to do until that period comes up, and I'll do another batch, and that way you guys can keep getting more information, and I can keep expanding my coaching business. I can keep expanding my software business, and of course my real estate business too, because I get deals that come in because of the stuff that I'm teaching. Anyway, I would be happy to talk to you if you're serious about getting, being mentored in this program. I'd be happy to talk to you. Just give me a call, but only call if you have enough money to do it. I don't do this on spec. I don't do it for free. I like to get paid too. But I'll do a good job for you, and I'll help you through the process. And I think I can get you to the money if you're willing to do the work. Anyway, I hope that helps. Go to zerodowninvesting.com and spell out zero, and you can find out about the mentor program. There's another link, joecrump.com/partner, all lowercase, and there's some more video there about the mentor program. Also, most of my mentor students use the auto marketer. That's an additional cost. You can go to pushbuttonautomarketer.com and you can get that. If you can't afford the mentor program, look at the auto marketer, because it's got some good training in it as well. You just don't get my personal help. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I look forward to working with you. All right, take care.